June 20, 2024. Atlas telescopes detected C2024 L5, a normal comet, until September 4, when it executed an impossible trajectory correction, 3.7 degrees in 6 hours. No natural process can do that. 2 days later, Atlas website went down. Then NASA's database, the Minor Planet Center, stopped publishing about C2024 L5. All within a week, astronomers posting updated coordinates received visits from officials. Their blogs disappeared because someone calculated the new trajectory, arrival at Earth orbit March 14, 2025. By January 2025, powerful telescopes detected the surface changing, the ice layer breaking away in perfect 400-meter hexagons, underneath dark material reflecting radar unnaturally. February 19, military observatories picked up microwave emissions, pulses every 11.7 hours, not a message, telemetry, something waking up. March 14, the object entered geostationary orbit over the Pacific, the outer layer gone completely. A cylindrical structure 12 kilometers long, black surface covered in antennas, unmistakably artificial. For 72 hours it did nothing, the world paralyzed. Then bus-sized objects started separating. By end of day 147 in low orbit, mapping everything. First landing in Mongolia. 6-legged drones covered in sensors emerged, taking samples of soil, air, plants, completely autonomous. Within 48 hours, 23 more landings in remote zones. The drones collected samples from 847 plant species, 1,200 animals, soil from every continent, water from 34 oceans, exhaustive biodiversity catalogue. Then they began excavations at 16 sites, Egypt, Peru, Antarctica, searching geological layers from 12,000 years ago, 65 million, 252 million, the Great Extinctions. April 2, they left a 30-centimeter cube at the UN, unknown material, emitting data, pure mathematics, universal constants, basic chemistry, molecular biology, a dictionary, teaching us their communication from scratch. First real message April 15, biosphere observation completed, compatibility analysis in progress. They started collecting human samples, swabs, blood, scans, sequenced 50,000 genomes in 2 weeks. May 3, genetic analysis indicates divergence from standard template. A biochemist noticed their proteins structurally matched ancient Earth proteins. We share biochemistry. Next message, genetic markers compatible. Lineage confirmed. Recontact protocol activated. Recontact. They've been here before. They installed laboratories. In the Sahara, a 200-meter dome growing from the ground in 18 hours, taking Earth microorganisms, exposing them to conditions from their world, testing if our life survives there and theirs here. May 20, they released organisms on a Pacific island, alien bacteria, algae. Some died, others adapted within weeks. Too fast, designed to colonize. Then, evaluation completed. Terraforming not required. Coexistence possible with minor modifications. Their biosphere 73% compatible. With adjustments rises to 94%. Impact, minimal to moderate over 200 years. Stabilization in 800. June 10, they revealed why. Home planet in terminal decline. Star entering premature red giant phase. Evacuation window 140 years. Population requiring relocation 8.3 billion. They're seeking refuge. And more. Earth population descended from mission sent 542 million years ago. Contact lost during Cambrian extinction. Protocol requires assistance. We're their lost colony. Complex life began with their microorganisms. We evolved from them over 500 million years. Their laws obligate them to help us. They offered gradual integration, biotechnology, medicine, climate management. In exchange, settlements in deep ocean zones, polar regions, deserts. 89 nations voted to negotiate. 104 demanded they leave. No consensus. They established experimental settlements. Their microorganisms began dispersing. 0.3% of oceans per year. Total containment impossible. Already begun. Resistance groups attacked, destroyed drones, sabotaged structures. They rebuilt and activated force fields. No violence, just barriers. December 2025, 340 settlements. 2.1 billion in nations accepting technology. Life expectancy increased 7 years. Crops grew 40% more. Another 4.3 billion suffering subtle climate changes. Rain patterns shifting. Immense pressure to join. January 2026. They asked weekly, consensus for Phase 2, their physical arrival. 59 million per year for 140 years. By 2050, they'd outnumber us. Final message. We understand difficulty, offering complete data, total transparency, we'll wait. But each year means 59 million lives at risk. March 8th, 3:47 a.m. Everything changed. All settlements activated simultaneously. Drones converged to extraction points. Perfect military formation. In 6 hours, every drone, every structure ascended to orbit. The 147 objects regrouped with the main ship. No message, no explanation. 11:22 a.m., space telescopes detected an anomaly at 2 million kilometers. A section of empty space began to exist differently. The fabric of the universe folding. 20:15 p.m., it emerged. 1,847 kilometers end alone, the size of a continent. Its shape defied geometry, looked different from every angle, as if existing partially in dimensions we couldn't perceive. Its surface didn't reflect light, absorbed and returned it transformed, black but with infinite depth, patterns moving across it like weather systems crossing a planet. The 12-kilometer ship that terrorized the world for months moved toward the mothership, like an insect flying toward a mountain, approached the surface and simply got absorbed. No visible doors. The surface opened like water and swallowed it. The 147 objects followed, one by one, disappearing into the impossible structure. The process took 3 hours and 12 minutes. Then, at 5:27 p.m., the final message arrived, transmitted simultaneously to every device on Earth. Not in our heads like movies, on screens, speakers, every phone, radio, television. Collection completed, samples catalogued, 2,847 plant species, 4,392 animal species, 89,000 microorganism variants, 50,000 human genomes, 12,000 years of geological strata. Database updated. We thank partial cooperation. Analysis confirmed biosphere integration viability. However, evaluation of social parameters indicates probability of prolonged conflict, 89%. Colonization decision postponed. Planet classified as Genetic Reserve Class B. Passive monitoring recommended. Review in 50,000 Earth years. Clarification to prevent misunderstandings. This system is not unique. Biospheric collection protocol is standard in galactic expansion operations. Active cataloging ongoing in 342,847 planetary systems with complex life. Earth represents sample 89,034 in central database. Do not feel special. There exist 127,934 planets with human-like organisms in various evolutionary states. 8,473 technological civilizations currently catalogued, 234 at development level comparable to yours. Earth does not represent unique nor particularly notable case. Analogy for comprehension. Just as your bees visit multiple flowers collecting pollen without permanently settling in any, our exploratory vessels visit multiple biospheres collecting genetic information. Not every flower becomes a hive, not every planet becomes a colony. Decision not to colonize based on available resources in locations with lower projected resistance, cost-benefit analysis of forced integration, availability of 8,847 alternative planets with compatibility exceeding 90% and lower social complexity. Collected samples will be preserved in Central Genetic Archive. If your species reaches extinction, information will be sufficient for complete recreation. Consider it backup. Standard courtesy for catalogued species. Installations left on surface will be remotely dismantled in 72 hours. Introduced microorganisms will be neutralized through dispersal of limiting agents designed for extinction in 6 Earth months. Residual ecological impact, less than 0.01%. Technology shared with cooperative nations will remain functional for 10 Earth years, then programmed self-destruction will activate. Reason: prevention of premature development that could result in self-destruction. Observations in 847 previous civilizations indicate advanced technology granted prematurely accelerates social collapse in 94% of cases. Final message: you are not alone in the universe, but you are not special in the universe. You are one sample among hundreds of thousands. Interesting, worthy of preservation in archive, but not exceptional. Your cosmological importance, statistically insignificant. Your importance to yourselves, decide that without our influence. Goodbye. The message ended. For 17 seconds, the entire world was in absolute silence. No panic, no screaming, just stunned silence, as 8 billion humans processed what they'd just heard. Then the mothership began moving, not with visible propulsion, simply glided, through space like a shark through water, increasing speed impossibly fast. In 4 minutes it reached 0.3% light speed. Our best telescopes struggled to track it. And then it did something that broke known physics. Its surface began changing. Patterns crystallized in configurations that hurt to look at, as if folding into angles that don't exist in 3 dimensions. The light around it distorted, curved. Space itself seemed to wrinkle, and it vanished. Didn't move away, didn't accelerate beyond our tracking capability, simply stopped existing in our perceptible space, as if it had folded the universe around itself and stepped through the seam. Telescopes showed empty space, like it had never been there. No residual radiation, no gravitational perturbation, nothing. We lost all trace at 5:49 p.m., March 8, 2026. 22 minutes after the final message. Installations on the surface began dismantling themselves. Domes dissolved into fine dust dispersing in the wind. Force fields flickered and died. Medical devices in hospitals shut down with screen messages. Grace period, 10 years. Use them wisely. Dead drones rusted at accelerated speed, turning to metallic dust in exactly 72 hours, like they were erasing all physical evidence of their presence. But they couldn't erase what they left in our minds. The revelation. We're not special, we're sample 89,034, one flower among 342, 8047. Interesting to catalogue but not to stay. Rejected not for being unworthy but by cold cost-benefit analysis. There are better options, easier, less problematic. For weeks the world was in silent shock, not invasion shock. Insignificance shock. Religions collapsed or radically reformed. Entire philosophies crumbled, because throughout human history we believed, in some deep way, we were important, special, the center of some cosmic plan. And they told us, no, you're statistically normal. One more in a catalogue of hundreds of thousands, not even particularly interesting. Groups that fought integration didn't know how to feel. They won, technically. The aliens left. But victory tasted like ash, because they didn't leave due to our resistance. They left because we weren't worth the effort. There are 8,847 better planets waiting. Nations that accepted technology have 10 years to learn what they can before it self-destructs. Scientists work frantically. Reverse engineering. Desperate documentation. Knowing it's provisional, but in 2036 will be primitive again. Alien microorganisms in the oceans began dying. Slowly, ecosystems that started changing reverted. In 6 months it was like they were never there, except for the data, samples preserved in laboratories, evidence it wasn't mass hallucination. And the question nobody can answer, are we lucky or unlucky? Lucky because we weren't colonized, our autonomy preserved, our planet still ours. Unlucky because we discovered that in the vastness of the cosmos we are profoundly, irrevocably ordinary. We're not the center of the universe. We're a footnote, a data point. Sample 89,034 in an archive containing 342,846 others. And somewhere, moving through dimensions we can't perceive, the mothership continues its work. It will visit another flower, collect more pollen, catalogue another civilization that will also believe itself special, until they're told the truth. The cube they left at the UN remains, the only physical artifact that didn't self-destruct. Scientists can't open it, cut it, or affect it in any way. It simply exists. Constant 23 arcs temperature, waiting. Some believe it's a reminder, others a test. A few suggest it's a marker, for when they return in 50,000 years for their scheduled review. to see if we evolved into something more interesting, more worthy of attention, or to see if we self-destructed, like apparently 94% of species receiving premature technology do. Maybe that's the real test, not whether we accepted or rejected integration, but whether we survive the next 50,000 years for the next catalogue. If we become something more than sample 89034, if we can be exceptional instead of statistically normal, well, maybe there's no test. Maybe we really are just another flower, and the bee already left, and will never return, and we'll have to live with that. With the absolute certainty that we're not alone, and the equally absolute certainty that this doesn't make us special. March 2026. Humanity looks at the night sky with different eyes. Every star could have a catalogued planet. Every constellation, dozens of civilizations that also believed themselves unique, until the bees visited them, took samples, and left for more promising flowers. And we wonder, of those 8,433 catalogued technological civilizations, how many were also rejected? How many were deemed worthy of colonization? And what do they have that we don't? The answer never comes. Only the silence of the cosmos, and the distant hum of cosmic bees, visiting flowers that will never know how ordinary they truly are, until it's too late.